Hello and welcome back to my FPL channel. I am FPL Dean and I'm currently in Thailand, and hopefully the internet is good here and I'll be able to record this and upload it with some time to spare before and enough time for you before the deadline. I've got a couple of updates. Unfortunately, I did get a red arrow I'm down to 904 overall. I wanted to give a shout out as well to Shah Cash with me, who's leading the D Unit League at the moment. He's on rank 234 overall now. Absolutely insane. He got 94 points this week, and we had a top scorer this week. I have no idea how to say his name, but he's managed by Lestat Kingor, and he got 108 points, and he had Eddie Howe on assistant manager this week. So well done to all those people. Today's going to be a massive show. I've got my team selection, I've got my thoughts, my ideas, top transfer targets, best players to target, etc., etc. I'm not sure if I've got a deadline stream tomorrow or not. It just depends on the internet, so you'll just have to bear with me with that. But before we go any further, please smash a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and without further ado, let's go. So the best place we're going to start is Game Week 33 FDR, and it is double Game Week 33. It's actually potentially the last double game week of the season, because apparently, according to Ben Crellin on Twitter, I read, or X, whatever you want to call it, apparently the chances of double Game Week 36 have drastically dropped due to Premier League announcements or whatever about the fixtures for 35, 36, 37, whatever. And I always thought it was a bit weird. Why would you bring the fixtures forward before the FA Cup rather than just play them after, when there is a free game week in Game Week 37? And yes, who cares about Spurs? I don't think they're going to make the final anyways. Unfortunately, Spurs fans, I know you made it through to the semi-finals, a bit like my team, very lucky overnight, but it is one of those things. Obviously, the teams to target this week are Arsenal, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, and Man City. Obviously, Crystal Palace, definitely disappointing in double Game Week 32. It has to be said. Only 2 goals across the 2 games, and they conceded 10. So Munoz actually ended up on -1. Can you believe that? One of the most popular assets ended up on a -1. Is this a foresight for what we're likely to see this week? I'm hoping it's not, because I didn't intend on transferring out any of my Palace assets, but I will admit I have thought about transferring out Mateta for Cunha a week early, only because of the fact that I think Man United are going to be on sky high after last night and that dramatic Harry Maguire winner. Maybe Harry Maguire's a great defender to target, because he's more likely to score for Man United than their forwards at the moment. But having said that, West Ham have an amazing fixture this week. Obviously, Southampton at home. Surely they keep a clean sheet. Surely Southampton can't score there. And it makes me think that that's why Bench Boost 32 did look really good on paper, but I went for the fixtures in 32 and it just didn't work out. But 33... it all depends on whether West Ham do well against Southampton. If they don't, it's going to mean that Bench Boost 33 is probably going to be as good as Bench Boost 32. Something to keep in mind moving forward. The top transfer players in for Game Week 33. Now, and the top transferred out. So if we have a look at the in column, Marmoush leads the way. Again, that dude has just been so consistent ever since Erling Haaland went out with injury. Makes a lot of sense. Saka as well, starting to pick up a bit of love. Now, I'm expecting Saka to start both games. And the reason why I expect Saka to start both games now is because of the fact that Arsenal won't play from the midweek of the double Game Week 33, so the game against Crystal Palace. They won't play from that game until they play in the Champions League, because they're not playing in Game Week 34. So that makes you think Saka still isn't up to 90 minutes. They really need to start in both games, I believe, in order for him to get there. So I think that it is quite a sensible transfer in for this week based on that. But post 34, I don't know if Saka's a good option, because Arsenal are definitely going to be all in on trying to win that Champions League, and they're going to want their players as fit as possible for that PSG tie. Rodgers, he is the 90-minute man. If you're comparing him to anyone else from Aston Villa, he is definitely the player you want. De Bruyne is someone I'm actually considering bringing him to my team this week for Parma. I've had a thought about it, and I don't actually mind a -4 in Game Week 34 now. So potentially that is a move I might potentially do. I haven't made it yet, and I'm still thinking about it, but it is definitely something I am considering. Saliba, I'm not sure if he's worth the money. I think Timber is definitely a bit better, a couple of places down. Guardiola, he's the only Man City defender that you should even be contemplating at this moment in time. Watkins, I'm not sure if he even starts. It looks like Rashford's taken his spot. I'm not sure what's going on there. Eze obviously looks okay as well. Milinkovic, yeah, he's actually number 21 in the out column as well. So people going either way. I think he's a great buy for 34 onwards. This week as well against Tottenham, maybe Tottenham are going to be lethargic. Maybe Forest can keep a clean sheet. I'm not sure. Raya makes a lot of sense. Probably the best goalkeeper to play this particular game week. Virgil van Dijk, again, I understand why Liverpool assets are popular with that Leicester fixture. I'm not sure I'd be going to Virgil though. Marino, again, a lot of centre forwards score against the teams that they're playing. So Ipswich and Crystal Palace, a lot of the centre forwards score. So it kind of makes sense why Marino's becoming popular this week. Luis Diaz, again, I keep on saying is a bad option, but he keeps on getting points after I say that. So maybe he's actually a half decent option. Munoz and Mateta, I'm unsure why people are buying them this week. Surely you already own them. And as I said, I actually thought about selling Mateta for Cunha a week early. Rice kind of makes sense. He has been in unbelievable form. Nori, I don't think this is the play this week. I think 34 onwards, 100%, but maybe you're preparing your team for 34, then that's fine. And Isaac and Bruno Fernandes, ditto. If you're preparing for game week 34, that makes a lot of sense. But if you're not, I don't understand why you're making those moves. Kluivert continues to miss out. Hasn't appeared for 3 game weeks now. He probably just needs to be sold. Aina, Gabriel, injured for the foreseeable future. Palmer has just been disappointing. As I said, I am weighing up that move to Palmer this week and then Palmer back out for maybe an Mbuemo the week after. I'm not sure. Wood and Mbuemo makes sense. The fixtures aren't overly flash for him this week. Wood's actually not too bad. I'm surprised people are actually selling him based on the fact they're playing Tottenham, and Tottenham, you never know what you're going to get. Matoma makes a lot of sense. Isaac, Bruno Fernandes, I suppose there's people free hitting or wild carding or whatever, because I think from next week onwards, both of those assets look really good. Alexander-Arnold probably done for the season. See you later. And also people that moved to Bradley last week, unbelievably lucky. 9 points last week. Fantastic stuff. Can you do it again? Jacob Murphy, obviously no double this week, but he has been brilliant value. I actually think he will probably return against Villa anyway. Alanga Kirkez, ditto. The fixtures are pretty much playing against him. Son, he's Spurs. Pedro Porro is a Spurs, so just say them off. Haaland obviously is injured. Gibbs White, I think is probably time to move out. There are better options at his price at this particular moment in time. Wissa and Kukurea, yes, the fixtures last week just didn't work out how I'd anticipated, and Kukurea obviously scored in the Champions League just to rub salt into the wound. Couldn't do it on my bench boost week, but could do it in the Champions League the game after. Thank you very much. And Foden obviously is under an injury cloud. He's a fairly sensible transfer out as well. Assistant manager game week 31 to 33, and I feel very sorry for anyone that has chased a table bonus. For me, it has been table bonus is king all season long. This week, it has not been king. I mean, David Moyes delivered massively. Other managers delivered massively with table bonus, but Oliver Glasner, where everyone was like, going double game week 32, 33, I'm just going to play Glasner and hope for the best. He got 2 points in game week 32. Just doesn't feel right. And they actually had an higher XG than Newcastle in the first half, and yet were losing 3-0 or 2-0 or whatever it was. Unbelievably unlucky, I would suggest that more than anything else. And the Bournemouth game, obviously, this week doesn't have table bonus, but then they verse Arsenal that does. But again, it's away from home. So these away from home fixtures against the better teams, they have been found out. As we saw there in game week 31, 2-1 win against Brighton. That was nice. And then it was followed by a 5-2 loss to City and a 5-0 loss to Newcastle for 10 points so far. If you went for Eddie Howe over the same 3 fixtures, you're on 34 points and looking pretty damn good, might I add. Leicester, obviously, they beat them 3-0. They beat Man United 4-1. And then he got 13 points against Crystal Palace. 5 for the 5 goals, 2 for the clean sheet and 6 for the win. So 23 points in game week 32. Unbelievably good from Eddie Howe. And yeah, unfortunately, table bonus has not come in king this week. But that doesn't mean that it won't come in king in game week 33. And the top 5 managers this week with table bonus are still Glasner. He only has the 1 game of table bonus. And I just think that Arsenal don't score many goals. So I don't think Arsenal will go batter Palace 5-0. Well, I certainly hope they don't, because that would be exceptionally unfortunate if they did. And I think the Bournemouth game at home, I would expect Palace to win one of these 2 games. In that case, I think he is still the best pick. Postecoglou versus Nottingham Forest is an interesting one. And I've got him slightly in front of David Moyes versus Manchester City, but you could literally swap either of them. I think it's a very close call, either one of those 2 options. I think Postecoglou, just because of the fact that Forest have been a little bit iffy away from home of late, but it is Spurs, and I just say that with no confidence at all. David Moyes, obviously, versus Manchester City. Evidently put up some unbelievable performances with table bonus at home versus the bigger team. So for me, David Moyes, I might be doing him a disservice. He has been the original OG table bonus king. Maybe he's going to continue here. Wouldn't be surprised if he did. McKenna versus Arsenal. I just don't see much hope here. Not going to lie, Arsenal go to Ipswich. I just think Arsenal go to batter him. I think Saka's going to be involved. I think he's going to return big. And then my boy, Ruud van Nistelrooy, I feel sorry for him in Leicester. They're just no good. And Liverpool, I can't see anything other than like a 5-0 battering. If I'm being brutally honest, I just can't see it. And I wish I could see it some other way. But at the moment, I just don't. So my game week 33 late notes. I was going to save my triple captaincy chip. I really was. For game week 36, I like the look of like maybe Man City doubling with Southampton plus one extra fixture. But the fact that I always thought it was a bit weird. Why would you bring the fixture forward to when they're going to definitely be resting players for game week 37? For like the FA Cup final that happens that weekend. Didn't make much sense to me. Now it looks like potentially it might not happen. So for that reason, I think I'm going to just play my triple captaincy this week. And at the moment, I think I am landing on Saka. And I don't know why. It is very much Russian roulette. It's like Arteta roulette. But my line of thinking is they have to get him fit for 90 minutes for PSG. And you've got a week off between game week 33 and when they play in the Champions League. So for me, that's a long gap. Surely has to start both games in order to build that fitness. Villa obviously exit Europe, but Man United, Tottenham, Arsenal, and Chelsea all progress to the semi-finals of their competitions. I would expect Chelsea to win it. In reality, if Man United can beat Athletic Club, who the final is actually going to be at their home stadium, then I think they're nailed on surely to win it. I don't know how. They just keep winning in the Europa League and it makes no sense because they're god-awful in every other competition. Arsenal, can they beat PSG? Their defense is obviously incredible, but they're going to have to do really well to keep out PSG. They have looked phenomenal, PSG. Even against Aston Villa when they travelled there, they still look really good. And and I think Chelsea are just going to steamroll through the Europa Conference League final. I can't see anyone getting close to them. They shouldn't do anyway. The fact Arsenal are through, I also think raises the possibility of 2 starts for Saka in 33. For that reason, I think they need to build his fitness. If they don't keep building his fitness, they're going to be in significant problems moving forward. And I just think that it makes a lot of sense just to play him. So I'm kind of hoping this because I'm going to press the captaincy on him and probably my triple captaincy. If he's benched both games, I think I'll actually cry and I'll be like, there goes my top 1,000 finish out the window. Yeah, but I am hoping it works off. I'm not sure if it will, but it's definitely my plan moving forward. Differentials also could be the way forward. As Palace disappointed in game week 32, and is it a sign for double game week 33 as well? Like the fixtures are easier, don't get me wrong. They're easier in 33 for Palace than they are in 32, but maybe 2 games in a row where you've conceded 5 goals is going to dent your confidence. So for that reason, it is problematic. It is really, really, really problematic. And obviously, as I said, 4 clean sheets across all the games in double game week 32, just showing how porous defenses have come late on in season. And maybe we are seeing defenses that have gone on the beach already. And maybe that's why there's so many free-flowing goals. Or maybe it's just a sign that everyone's tired and it's just easier for forwards to score at the moment. It's definitely something that needs to be monitored this week. So, recapping how my game week 32 bench boost went, and I'm telling you, it was a flop. So in the defense, we obviously had Raya in goal with 2 points, Verbruggen on the bench with 2 points, Kukurea on the bench with 1 point, Mikulenkovic on the bench with 2 points. So fantastic stuff there. We had Munoz on field with -1, getting a yellow card and conceding 10 goals. Does no good for you if you're a defender. Dan Burn obviously got a yellow card in the second game, ended up with 7 points. So it wasn't fantastic, wasn't brilliant. And then Guavio ended up with 1. So the fixtures I was hoping to play off just did not go the way I anticipated. And ironically, if I'd swapped my triple captaincy around with my bench boost, maybe I would have got more points for across the season. But we'll never know this, but we'll see. Hopefully the triple captaincy can bring it back for me. And my free hit, which won't be in 34. Hopefully it means that my free hit, when I do that, will hopefully rack in the points that I kind of missed out on. In the midfield, obviously, Ismail Assar was the only one that returned on the bench. But in reality, I just didn't swap him with Saka. So in reality, it was Saka's 1 point on the bench, which gave me a grand total of 6 points from the bench boost in reality, even though Sarr was on the bench. Sarr would have started there. Palm obviously got the 1 assist and 4. Sarr obviously got the 1 assist across the 2 games, ended up with 7. So not disastrous, not brilliant. Salah obviously got an assist as well with 6 points in the clean sheet. And Jacob Murphy, the star of the show, again, a goal, a couple of assists, 19 points. In reality, I didn't actually consider him too strongly for captaincy, but maybe it was worth. He's just been brilliant the last 2 weeks in a row. He looks fantastic. I wouldn't even be surprised if he scored against Aston Villa this week either. And then obviously in the front line, Mateta, sub 60 minutes twice in a row for just 2 points. Feels really bad considering I actually said if I was wildcarding last week, I would have bought in Cunha. Cunha outscored him comfortably and he started on the bench. Isaac, obviously, he was a half-decent captain. He got 11 points, doubled to 22. But all those people who played triple captaincy on him would have felt kind of let down. You probably were gutted that you didn't even go for a Harvey Barnes, who was a massive differential. We got 25 points, I think, in general, across the 2 games. Or Jacob Murphy, who got 19. Again, either of those 2 would have been brilliant. You would have been much happier. Marmoush obviously got 7 points as well. And yeah, I suppose so 82 points in all. I was 2 points off my safety score, so I went from 859 down to 904. But again, still inside the top 1K. I can't complain too much. Still got 2 chips in the bank as well, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. So, updated chip strategy as it is there. Obviously, you can see my rank from like game week 24 all the way through to where we are now, ahead of double game week 33. The original plan was to just roll my transfers and play my triple captaincy chip. I do want to talk a bit more about that. My plan is potentially to move Palmer out this week for Kevin De Bruyne and just take a massive 1-week punt on Kevin De Bruyne. I think that he's probably going to be the top scoring midfielder that I do not own, that potentially I might like, and I can do it for Cole Palmer. And then that means that in game week 34, I would take a -4 to field 11 players. And I think that that's probably worth. I think. That's my honest line of thinking. And I just think that chasing points, we're into the last 6 game weeks of the season. Like, how high can I get? Taking risks. I think quite a few people are going to be on -4s over the next few weeks. And if it just means I take -4 over the next 2, 3 of the 4 times I've taken a -4 this year, I have ended up with a green arrow. So for me, maybe taking that -4 next week will still equal a green arrow. We don't know, but this week it's not going to cost me anything. So it's a bit of a free hit 1-week punt, and then I pay for it next week. Hopefully it makes sense. And obviously I am thinking now of playing that triple captaincy because the chances of double game week 36 and blank game week 37 have drastically reduced based off the information that's available to us on Twitter at the moment. So the best assets that double for double game week 33, and these are the ones, I haven't put the likes of Guavio, I haven't put the likes of Saka, I haven't put the likes of Munoz, Mateta, Sa, Eze, etc., because most people already own these assets. On Wildcard, you've already bought them in. The ones that you don't own are the ones I've featuring here. Now, if I've missed someone that potentially you think isn't massively owned and potentially should be here, by all means, whack it in the comments, let me know. But I think that these are the ones that people may want to take a 1-week punt on. And you can see there's barely any Man City players in here because of the fact that Pep Roulette is such a thing. So Luca Dean, he has to be talked about, 4.5 million, great defender. Martinelli, 6.5 million rated midfielder for Arsenal. I think that he's probably going to start both game weeks as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Martinelli, Saka, and Marino as the front 3 both games in a row. I just think that they've got to build that fitness, and Martinelli and Saka, it is imperative that they are fit for the 90 minutes versus PSG and both those legs. And so for me, I just don't think you bench them. I think you've got to play them and build that fitness up so Saka can actually last 90 minutes. Morgan Rogers, he is definitely the best Aston Villa midfielder to buy. 5.7 million. He's the cheapest. He's the most reliable. He plays literally 90 minutes every game week. I'm sure he definitely will not get rested. I'll be shocked if he did. Martinez, obviously, if you need a second goalkeeper and you want to play a bench boost, he does look really good. How many points he gets, I'm not sure Aston Villa keep any clean sheets, but he's still a really good option. Marco Asensio, again, it just depends whether he starts. Him, Rashford, Watkins, all rotation risks. They could potentially just start one of the 2 games. They might start both. You do not know. Obviously, we don't know who's on penalties. Marcus Rashford, he's on the field. He's on penalties. Then it looks like it might be Asensio. Then it looked like it might be Watkins. Will Watkins start? We don't know. 8.9 million. I don't know if I would recommend the Isaac to Watkins transfer. I just think that in reality, the fact that Watkins hasn't been starting doesn't give me great faith that it is a transfer that's actually worth doing. And I think Isaac will be perfectly fine as well. Marino, obviously, 6.1 million. He looks okay. Rashford, 6.7 million. As I said, he also looks okay. But Kevin De Bruyne is the one I want to talk about. 9.3 mil. I just think that if there's one player that's likely to pop off this week, it could be Kevin De Bruyne. And he's fresh off 12 minutes. He's played the last 2 game weeks. Can he play the next 3 games? So this weekend, midweek, and then the FA Cup. I wouldn't be surprised. It is his swan song. Pep obviously loves him, wants to play him. It looks like Kevin De Bruyne is fit and moving really well as well. And he has lasted 90 minutes pretty much the last 2 game weeks. And that's a good sign, I think, moving forward. Saliba, I don't think he's worth 6.5 million. If I was weighing up between him and Timber, I'd definitely be going with Timber at 5.7, who's actually risen in price this week. And Konza at 4.4. He is still dirt cheap, man. I don't know how he's remained that cheap, but he's been brilliant and he looked really good in the Champions League as well. So the captaincy choice for double game week 33. And honestly, Kevin De Bruyne could be in this mix. as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually outscored any of these three options as well, which is kind of why I kind of want him in my team. Obviously, I covered this earlier in the week, but I still think these are the three best captaincy choices. Leicester obviously are god-awful, and Salah is actually a really good one-off potential captain. He could easily score a hat-trick against them or end up with a stupid, ridiculous haul. I wouldn't be surprised. His XGI was okay. He looked slightly better last game week against West Ham as well. Saka's the one that if he starts both games, I think he is by far the best captaincy choice this week. Ipswich away screams points. Crystal Palace at home, considering they've just conceded 5 goals in back-to-back games, again, screams a lot of points. And I just think that Saka needs to build that form, build that fitness. And for me, if he starts both games, he's a nailed-on the perfect captaincy choice in game week 33. So at the moment, I am thinking about risking it and playing my triple captaincy on Saka. Will it work out? I'm not 100% sure, but there's every chance that potentially it could. Marmoush obviously is another very good option. Man City is scoring lots of goals again. Marmoush is definitely nailed on. I can't see anyone else starting in that position with Erling Haaland not fit and not available. So for that reason, you would expect him to do really good in game week 33. So onto my team selection for double game week 33. And at the moment, this is how we're lining up. So Raya starts in goal with Ipswich away and Crystal Palace at home. He's looking pretty good for at least one clean sheet. Touch wood. I'm praying for one clean sheet. Ironically, lots of people probably going to have Arsenal double up defense. So maybe I'm praying for no clean sheets and it might be better off for my team. I'm not sure. Obviously, in the defence, I am going with Milinkovic at Tottenham away in front of Dan Burn, Aston Villa away and Kukurea, Fulham away. I just think that Forest are more likely versus a tired Tottenham team to keep a clean sheet. That's just the way I'm reading it. Spurs haven't been overly fabulous. They're probably going to be quite relieved that they're through to the Europa League semi-finals. Guavi obviously picks himself. Everton away, Aston Villa at home. Surely there's a clean sheet in there. It'd be nice if he got an attacking return as well. He has been very much starved of attacking returns over the last few game weeks. Munoz, he got -1 in game week 32. It surely can't get any worse than that. You would expect him to be at least getting some sort of points against Bournemouth at home at the minimum, and then Arsenal away. I can't see Bournemouth battering him with 5 goals. Surely not. And then Verbruggen obviously sits on the bench with Brentford away. In the midfield, it is Malia Sarr. Bournemouth at home, Arsenal away. Hopefully he can get a few more points. That would be nice. Salah, obviously Leicester away. He is looking delicious in that particular fixture. Palmer is obviously versus Fulham away. And as I said, he could easily become Kevin De Bruyne by the deadline for free. And then I would have 8 doublers rather than 7. I just think that Palmer's been letting me down so much. I just feel like the week that I sell him, he's just going to pop and get like 2 goals. I'm like, why on earth did I sell him? But it is definitely he definitely is on the chopping block. Again, he did nothing in the Europa Conference League either. So that, I don't know. He just seems distinctly out of form at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on there. Saka at the moment is my captain. It's Ipswich away, Crystal Palace at home. I mean, if he starts both games, he's definitely going to be the standout captaincy choice. I don't think that makes, and obviously Murphy is on the bench. He's unlucky to be dropped to the bench, but in reality, I think that fixture looks harder than Palmer versus Fulham away, and for that reason, Jacob Murphy starts on the bench. And up front, we have Mateta. Will he last 60 minutes? I hope. And obviously, the way that Bournemouth and Arsenal do concede goals is from the striker position. So if there is a points on offer, you would think that Mateta is likely to pick him up, potentially against Bournemouth. Against Arsenal, I'm not expecting much. But hopefully this week pays off and I'm not sitting there waiting away. He's 100% becoming Cunha in game week 34. That is no ifs, buts, or maybes unless Cunha gets himself sent off or injured this week. I just can't see any reason not to go there. Isaac again, Aston Villa away. He's just so good. I know he didn't get massive points in double game week 32, but he's brilliant. When Newcastle were on, Isaac's involved, and I just think that he picks himself there in front of Jacob Murphy. And then Marmoush is the vice captain. Everton away, Aston Villa at home. I think I'm on track here for a decent score in double game week 33 without even making a transfer, without even playing my triple captaincy chip. If I play my triple captain and it comes off, I could be looking at a green arrow or just matching people that are on bench boost, probably with good benches as well. It is one of those things that is going to come down to how well West Ham go against Southampton, because a lot of people are going to be invested in that particular game. So, on to my double game week 33 deadline decisions. So, game week 33, 34 navigation is the first thing you need to be thinking about. Using your transfers to target the immediate doubles and fixtures for Crystal Palace, Manchester City, Aston Villa, and Arsenal. You've also, though, got to work out what your strategy is for game week 34. Are you free hitting in 34? Or are you doing what I'm doing and taking a hit, maybe potentially if I bring in Kevin De Bruyne this week and playing with 11 players in game week 34? Which strategy are you going to go with? I feel like I've hedged my bets. I feel like potentially it could go quite well this week. It could also go quite well next week, and I might just need to take a -4 in order to make it happen. And I've done that 4 times this season. 3 of the 4 have been successful green arrows. So again, I wasn't thinking about taking a -4, but this week, after what I've seen midweek, I think I am definitely thinking about doing a -4 and how much more sense that would make, particularly for my team. The assets to target. Is it worth taking a chance on a 1-week play? I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. Kevin De Bruyne is my 1-week play. If I go anywhere with the transfer this week, it will be to Kevin De Bruyne, and it most likely will be for Cole Palmer. Potentially, I could make a second move and get out someone that I'm not going to need next week for someone this week. But again, that makes the team slightly weaker for this week, and I just don't know if that's worth it, if I'm being brutally honest. Obviously, you can target assets a week earlier, like Cunha's, Jorgenstrand, Larson. Maybe they're better than Mateta this week. I'm not sure. They could potentially outscore Mateta 100%. Obviously, they'll be great for you in blank game week 34, particularly if you're not free hitting. And yeah, also they're playing a Man United team that is going to be on the biggest of highs at the moment from Thursday and Harry Maguire's winner. So again, maybe that's an option. Harry Maguire also could be a great defensive shout. If they start playing him up front instead of Rasmus Højlund, Man United could be onto something. That dude just knows how to head a ball. Tip strategy in game week 33 and 34. Are you bench boosting or triple captain? Let me know in the comments. Or are you still on assistant manager? And who are you moving to? If you're on Howe, are you moving to Arteta? Are you moving to Pep? Are you moving to Glasner? Are you chasing the table bonus? Are you playing it safe and hoping for just 2 wins? I'm intrigued to know what people are thinking. At the moment, people have picked Howe on 34 points, as I said. They're 22 points away from the people that went Moyes, Glasner, and Emery in the first round, 24 to 26. It's possible you could beat that. It just depends on a bit of luck, I suppose, in here and just moving the AM chip to the right person. I'm not sure. Now, is it also time to go full differential, or do you follow the crowd? And captaincy decisions. Who are you betting on this week? Are you betting on Saka? Are you betting on Marmoush? Are you going on Kevin De Bruyne? Are you going on Salah? Or are you going on someone completely different? So that brings us to the end of a bumper show. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a deadline stream tomorrow or not. It does depend on the internet and also a couple other different things. We are going out tonight to Illusion, to this club in Thailand, and it's going to be a pretty late one. So again, I'll be awake. If you are after a card decision between now and then, please write in the comments. I'll card flip it and I'll write you the answer in the return comment. Good luck in double game week 33. Hopefully you get a green arrow. Hopefully I get a green arrow and I get back to a little bit of form. Follow my updates tomorrow to see if I triple captain or not and my final team. But that is my team selection. Good luck, as I said. And if you haven't already, please smash a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Good luck, D-Unit.